Dude, if they saw what I was looking at, they'd be fucking... Yeah, they'd look at me very differently.
My dad, when I was a kid, caught me looking at Rotten.com.
Rotten.com was crazy.
Remember Rotten? Yeah, and it blew his mind that was like on a regular website.
Yeah.
So you guys hear about that the Florida governor, his name happens to be Ron DeSanctimonious.
That's what Donald Trump
Meatball Ron.
That's what Donald Trump
He called him Meatball Ron, right? That's him?
Meatball Ron, yeah.
Eating all the meatballs. Yeah. Meatball Ron.
He eats the meatballs. He lives them. I don't like them.
That's good.
He just signed one of the country's strictest bans on kids using social media.
Oh, cool. We'll see how it does. Yeah.
As a father, you got to be nervous, right? Tech is getting up there now. Yeah. Like, he's about to be able to get a phone in, like, probably 3 months.
He has an iPad.
Well, there you go.
Kind of like a mini phone.
What keeps him from getting on social medias?
He doesn't have social media. He does have YouTube Kids on there.
Yeah.
And then he has Netflix. And
He's got a dope Reddit account.
Bunch of weird ass games. That's it.
You created an IG for him.
Does he know that he has an IG?
I don't really use it. I use this to tag, and it's more like a photo album. So it does exist, but I don't even know the password to it. That's why I stopped posting on it. I forgot what the password
Locked out.
You got more followers than half of my fucking friends.
No doubt.
One day he's not going to be like, I need to start making more content on that page.
We got to monetize this
If
content.
he wants to do it, I would actually guide him. I'll help you. Yeah. Yeah, but it has to come from him. I don't want to impose my stuff on him, but then I would actually guide him.
Cool.
Sick.
But I am scared. Like, once he gets into that range where, like, all his friends have phones, they're all watching stupid ass shit, and I'm like, how do I interfere in a way where I don't make him feel left out, but still not contribute to the fucking suicide rate statistics of young kids?
Exactly. So how do you feel about a law which takes effect January 1st of next year, bans social media accounts for all kids under 14, requires that 15 and 16-year-olds get parental consent to have accounts, period. Wow. And social media platforms will be required to terminate accounts in violation with the law.
Wow.
Only in the state of Florida?
Yeah.
I say that they need to do something that I think some of the worst accounts by kids are the ones that parents have consent for.
How so?
Because there's fucking social media stage parents that put their kids in even if they don't want it. And that doesn't help that situation. So then all we're left with are those. And some of these kids who are kind of like not problematic to themselves or anyone else, now they just can't use it. So it's kind of like, oh, did we really like, what are you actually fixing?
So Ron DeSanctimonious, he said the social media has been given predatory adults a tool to undermine parents' efforts to protect their kids. Unfortunately, we've got predators who prey on young kids. It used to be, well, if they're out there somewhere, maybe they're not being supervised, maybe some predator can strike. Now, with things like social media and all this, you can have a kid in the house, safe, seemingly, and then you have predators that can be right in there, in your home. You could be doing everything right, but they know how to get in and manipulate those different platforms.
Yeah, I don't think it really does anything.
That's scary.
Kids are better than parents at navigating around this loophole anyway. That's like,
Absolutely.
like LimeWire was illegal.
True.
We all used it.
Yeah.
I don't know, this is just for the sake of conversation, but like, is it productive to make legislation or like rules around these things based off of like because I don't assume that the entire platform for people who are young that have social media accounts is like they're just like under threat to like online predators. I know that happens.
Yeah.
But I don't assume that that's like the entirety of their experience. So to like ban everyone from being able to use it in order to stop this like maybe potentially small but impactful percentage of experience is like maybe not the best foundation to build like some sort of legislation on. You know what I'm
I think it's the whole enchilada. So I think the couple of things that the guys that want to ban social media for like teens and kids is predators, then the 24/7 bullying versus like, you know, physical bullying at school. Nick beats me up, I go home, I'm chilling. But now you go home, Nick either records something of me, that thing goes viral. It's constant. There's 24/7 bullying going on, comments, and so you can't really escape that. And then I think the third one is just the stats of like crazy amounts of anxiety and depression in kids.
Then I guess maybe like hypothetically, if I was a voter in Florida, I would probably be more inclined to get behind it if like quote unquote the whole enchilada was like presented versus just like there's adult online predators. That's why like they shouldn't have social media.
But don't you think it's maybe good to just be overreactionary than underreactionary? Where like you might as well just like try to blanket attack.
Yeah, but I think it would be logical to like put all of those very understandable things that are also an issue for like kids who have accounts at that age, right? I think I guess the point is I would, if I was a parent, hypothetically, I'm not a parent. I would just want to know on such an extreme thing that I'd be voting on to like know really like the fullness and of the parameters of that, so that I would like really have a good foundation in my vote. Otherwise, if I was like voting on it because of the fear of possibly having my kid be a victim of that type of predatory thing, I think of course that's an issue and that's bad, but I don't know if that would be like enough to make me be like, all children should not have social media accounts. I think I'd be like, oh shit, those are all issues. Here are the stats, or here's the evidence. I'd be like, fuck yeah, I believe that is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
There's also a part of me that feels like, I feel kind of funny about it because the state of why social media is so dangerous is also because of our generation.
Yeah.
So it's like we fucked around with this thing and had no kind of way of, I guess, like creating it to be safe enough.
But also,
and then now we're like, you guys shouldn't use it because it's so bad. It's like we kind of, that's our agenda.
And we still keep using it.
Exactly, yeah. And like we're gonna keep going. And, you know.
I think also too, it's like a preventative thing because not even just from the aspects that you talk about social media, of just looking of getting like bullied or increasing anxiety and depression in kids, but I think it's just the act of like,
I see fucking grown adults that just can't stop themselves from just pulling out their phone and just being on it. They can't even be alone.
Dopamine hits.
Yeah, and it's like from a behavior standpoint, like that is also really dangerous because
think about everyone has a problem with attention deficit. Everyone can't focus on something. They need like,
and I'm like this too now, you know?
Yeah.
but I see it in my parents. I see it in fucking all ages. So you imagine like what happens to kids when they start doing this by the time they're, you know,
When they have less impulse control.
exactly. And this is
So you're just like trying to save them from it.
but also that social media has to be contextualized to kids too. Like that's a whole nother conversation. So I think a lot of times some of these guys are like, for us to get the best effect, we just need to get rid of it and not allow them to get there until a certain age. So it's like at that point for 15-year-olds, it's like, okay, you have to wait till you're 15. All right, that sounds fair to me. You know,
wonder how
Also from a
kids shouldn't have rights, I think.
Yeah. From a non-offensive but scientific standpoint, as a Californian, I'm super down for Floridians to do this so that we can see what happens.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So if I had any kind of issue, I'd be like, oh, I don't know where to vote on this. I'm down to watch you guys do it.
What happens?
Yeah.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Because like that's the whole point of science too, right? Like you have to test something. It might sound crazy, but it's like I'm for the fucking science. Yeah.
California's down.
It's also like I think it's generally a good idea to hold off on more like adult stuff for kids anyway. Like I think social media is kind of like a kind of more of an adult thing, no?
What do you mean by that?
Arguable, right?
But kids are always gonna find their way. Like
That's
thinking
what I'm
about what
thinking,
we
yeah.
did.
That's what I mean.
Because even like, you know, like when you go to like porn sites, it's like when they're
Are you 18?
I'm like,
Yeah.
who's clicking no?
Yeah, idiots.
I remember being like 14 going, fuck yeah, I'm 18.
Yeah, I'm like,
Like, how
God damn it, I'm Catholic. I'm not.
Like how enforceable is this?
But it's like, where's the fuck yeah button?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to technology, kids are always going to outsmart parents no matter what generations we're
doubt.
talking about.
The biggest hackers on the earth right now are like little fucking kids. Yeah.
It's true.
Little teenagers. Legitimately.
I think that the real answer to this is the tough one, where like parents need to build a really strong
Be better parents.
relationship with- yeah, because you build a strong relationship with
No, but that's the
time.
real answer.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and then by the time they are teens and as they're experiencing the world, hopefully they share that world with the parent and the parent can guide from the back rather than like control from the front.
But how can the parent do that and watch The Voice?
Bro, for real.
Like, how do you do those two things?
Ooh, that's selling Sunset.
Right.
But it's true though. The quickest route to making something even more desirable for younger people is to stigmatize it or make it not allowed. So it's like you run the risk of also
Making it cool.
making it cooler than it ever could be. Like nothing will make it cooler than that.
Yeah, legitimately. That's actually ultimately what I think is going to happen, because it's not like people are like, Ron DeSantis is fucking cool as fuck. Yeah. I think this basically runs the risk of like a counterculture burgeoning moment that like people are underestimating.
Yeah. Especially if you make them feel like at any point this could be taken away from me, then they'll be prone to do more with it now before it's gone.
That's true.
You know?
They're gonna wild out.
Which again, from California, I'm kind of down to see the theory happen. You know what I mean? So we can learn.
Because it is a theory at the end of the day. We have no idea what's gonna happen.
But that's the thing that's weird, is that because it's a kind of a conservative point of view, it does feel like it's one of those things that just appeases adults rather than it actually helps kids. You know what I mean? It's like, it's more like I'm doing this because the adults all want me to do it, and they'll all like be on my side if I do it. Versus
that's why that's what I'm saying too. Like I would at least need like data proven things about how like social anxiety or bullying from a statistical point of view is like a heavy impact on these things, because then it'd be like you might argue that, but then there's like facts of your generation. You know what I'm saying? Then I'd be like, okay, it'd be easier to swallow enforcing it is all. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying like it'd be easier to swallow the idea of voting for it.
the biggest thing would be proving how it can actually be effectively enforced, because that's the first thing I think. If you're gonna make that move,
That's the problem with our fucking generation, bro. I remember the Nickelodeon's The Big Help, and they're like, you call in and you get to hear your favorite Nickelodeon characters say like, "What's up?" and shit. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna pledge as many hours as it takes to hear every single Nickelodeon character. And at the end of the thing, I pledged like 24,000 hours. I went outside for 35 minutes. I picked up trash and I was like, this sucks. It's hot. I went inside, and Nickelodeon, when you watch their like Big Help marathon at the end, they're like, we raised 200 million hours or whatever. I'm like, bro, I didn't contribute. But it says I did. It says I did. And that's the thing. When you got fucking, what's his name? The blue guy from Doug being like, thanks,
Skeeter?
Steve, you're the man. Yeah. I'm like, oh shit, this is Skeeter from Doug. Oh, I hope I hear Doug next time. You don't know how you can't gain kids, dude. Kids know what they're doing. So then I'm like, okay, yeah, same thing. Oh yeah, I pledged 5 hours. Yeah, can I talk to Doug? I'll hold.
Can I talk to Doug?
Yeah, it's legit for you.
Yeah, that's very true.
But yeah, it's all bullshit. It's complete bullshit. So Nickelodeon, they're like, oh man, we're saving so many turtles. We're the rings on those little, all the cans you buy. They're cutting those things. I wasn't doing anything. I literally just called the thing for 20 minutes and then I was done. But I pledged like 6,000 hours.
that's why I also respect fucking parents of these kids in this age, because like, how the fuck are you supposed to keep all that shit in line?
No.
There's so much.
No.
Because it ain't just social media, it's also just general internet. Like, your kid can run into whatever the fuck.
We were looking at some really bad stuff as a kid and doing a really good job of hiding it from my parents. My parents had no fucking idea.
No fucking idea.
We think they had no fucking idea.
they had no
Yeah,
fucking
to a
idea.
degree.
Dude, if they saw what I was looking at, they'd be fucking, they'd look at me very differently.
My dad, when I was a kid, caught me looking at Rotten.com.
Ron.com was crazy.
Ron.
Remember Rotten? Yeah, and it blew his mind that was like on a regular website.
Yeah.
You had to teach him.
There's this one mom that brings her kids to Taika's basketball practice, and you know, like when moms have like kids, the kids that are practicing, they're like cool. They're like, this is 1 hour physical activity, but some moms also have other kids, so I always try to see like how they try to like parent.
Oh yeah.
And then she has a set of twins. One kid is like glued to her phone for a whole hour. And then the other kid has these fake power tools, and he's just going crazy on the fucking water fountain, like, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, damn, if I was a parent, like, what do I do? Do I go, get your ass back, watch the phone? Or, you're like, but this is like frying his brains. Or do you go, the kid that's on the phone, like, go make a nuisance like your brother? Because that kid was going crazy, making all kinds of noise. And I'm like, this is fucking tough.
What if that kid was watching like correct power tool usage stuff?
Oh, okay.
Cabinet installations. He's like, okay. And Bart's just like, what a piece of shit.
Glued to his fucking.
Do what he's doing.